in a season where it seems all of the other contenders in the Big Ten West are trying to find ways to lose, trying to find ways to fumble their opportunity to get to the Big Ten championship game. Here's the Iowa Hawkeyes finding ways to win, finding ways to improve, and that is why they're in the driver's seat to make it back to Indianapolis.
From LA to Piscataway, all Big Ten all year long. This is Big Ten 10.
Nobody should be surprised by this. This is maybe the least surprising thing in a year where you've got a lot of mucky football within the Big Ten West. Some might say it's ugly football. Others might say it's pretty beautiful, depending on your perspective, depending on what kind of football you thoroughly enjoy. But in a year where this is a style of play, it should not be very surprising that a team like Iowa and a program and a culture like Iowa is sitting atop the Big Ten West. A team that doesn't make mistakes. Because if you look at the rest of the Big Ten West, and especially on this Saturday, it's Iowa, the most disciplined team. When you saw Minnesota play like they did, when you saw Nebraska fumble away those opportunities to possibly win a game and stay in the race, it's Iowa finding ways to win, not finding ways to lose, maybe like some of those other teams, finding ways to win and finding ways to improve. Let's talk about that offense. 402 yards of total offense. Didn't make that up. When you look at it in the box score after you watch this video, it will not be a typo. Because this coaching staff, Kirk Ferentz, and you got to give credit to the outgoing Brian Ferentz as well, put this offense into very favorable situations early and often in Iowa City. Short passing game, put the ball into Deacon Hill's hands and really build his confidence early throwing the football. Instead of just riding the run game a lot, the run game was a good balance for Iowa today. But this was a game against the Rutgers Scarlet Knights where you really saw Deacon Hill take some big steps forward. How about 20 of 31, 223 yards passing, a touchdown, and an interception. I credited Brian Ferentz and this coaching staff, and they deserve some credit also for really trying their best to get Caleb Brown involved in this game as well. The Ohio State transfer, been looking for ways, kind of a slow start, trying to get into the swing of things. Now you get his first touchdown of the season. They tried to get him involved in some run game type of stuff as well. Get the ball into the hands of Caleb Brown. I think that's going to be something that we should look for this Hawkeye defense to do as this season progresses, as it reaches its end, as we see these final couple of games against Illinois and Nebraska for the Iowa Hawkeyes. Because I think when you look around at what's remaining within this Iowa offense after all of the injuries, he's maybe the playmaker. He's the guy, and I think he always has been that guy. It's just, he's kind of getting up to speed with this Iowa offense now, and they're starting to get him the football more, and I think that is a really, really good thing. Now, when we talk about Coach of the Year right now, all right, David Braun has been mentioned, rightfully so. Greg Schiano has been mentioned, rightfully so. In the discussion, I think you got to throw Kirk Ferentz. I think you got to, considering you lose Cade McNamara, you lose your top two targets, your top two tight ends on offense, and this is still a team that is still only lost 2 games the entire season. He's got to be in the discussion. Who would come on a podcast? Who would come on a YouTube channel after all the Iowa distractions? He'd say, you know what? Maybe Kirk Ferentz should ride off into the sunset. Who would say that? I'll take the L on that one. Because I enjoy taking the L on that one because I enjoy watching Kirk and this football team right now, and he's clearly enjoying every minute of it, progressing throughout this season with this Iowa football team, especially on offense. Man, if this is the type of the production we can get from this Iowa offense, this is a team that can definitely win their last 2 games. This is a team that can finish 10-2 on the season, and all credit to this coaching staff for putting them in the right positions in this one. Iowa just needs a little bit from the run game, right? They got 179 yards rushing in this one. Good amount of those yards kind of came later in the game, But you just get a little bit from this run game. The Caleb Johnsons, the Jazz Pattersons, the LeSean Williams, they've got a good trio of running backs. Run game balanced with Deacon Hill doing some things in the throw game. This is an Iowa team that's maybe hitting their stride exactly at the right time. Let's talk about the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. You got to give credit, of course, to that Iowa defense. I think Iowa knew what the plan of attack was in terms of bottling up Rutgers. It was bottling up Kyle Monangai in this run game, because when Rutgers is successful, Kyle Monangai is successful, and vice versa. Because we've seen it so many times throughout this season where Rutgers will put the ball into the hands of Gavin Wimsatt and he'll throw an interception, he'll throw a pick six, and a lot of times in those losses, that's what happens. Gavin Wimsatt has taken steps forward at the quarterback position this season for the Scarlet Knights, but he's not there where you can put the ball into his hands and he can make plays down the stretch. Not only overall, but also on the road in a place like Kinnick Stadium. It was very hard for me to imagine Rutgers going into this environment and getting a win, despite how everything else kind of turned out. But we really saw Iowa mash the gas, so to speak, and do what they did on offense, and that defense continues to attack. When we talk about improvement, Iowa has improved. They've gotten to a point with this defense where they are hitting their stride on the defensive side of the football as well. It is really fun to see Iowa put together a game like this. This is the type of Iowa football game that you want to see from the Hawkeyes going forward. This loss for Rutgers does not take anything away from them. This has still been a great job for Greg Schiano and this football team. Rutgers has taken a lot of steps forward as a program. But this Iowa team is nasty, and they are really, really nasty when they play at Kinnick Stadium in what I like to call the Iowa time slot. At Kinnick Stadium, a 2:30 kickoff, and transition in tonight at Kinnick. It's a beautiful sight to see the time of day kind of pass by over the plains of Iowa City. I want to hear what you guys think of this matchup. Do you think Iowa, like me, is hitting their stride at the right time? Should Kirk Ferentz be a candidate for Big Ten Coach of the Year? And what about Rutgers? They're already bowl eligible. How much improvement do you think that they have made this season? Leave your thoughts, all things Rutgers and Iowa, in the comments below. I'm Big Ten Ted. We will see you in the next one.
Thanks for watching Big Ten Ted, where it's all Big Ten all year long. Make sure to like the video to spread the word of Big Ten Ted to the masses, and subscribe to the channel for updates on Big Ten content that drops every day.